playoffs, but those draft orders interesting for sure.
Yeah,
So if this is a Pro Football Network mock draft from 8 hours ago, so pretty updated.
Oh, that is pretty updated.
They do have the Lions at 7th because they're going by current order. So it goes. Also, I don't know about this person's thing, but Jaguars picking Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
They have the New York Jets picking Zach Wilson. I think.
Whoa.
I think if they go with QB,
Justin Fields. All right.
Yeah.
That's fine with me. I don't necessarily disagree, but I don't think Zach Wilson's that great either. So.
Right, but at least
not on any. I think Trevor Lawrence is like written in stone, like the 10 Commandments right now. But I think, I think any other quarterback in this draft, as deep as it is, and I say deep in quotes because I think a lot of these quarterbacks are going to be good backups in the league, but none of them, to me, really jump out as like productive starters for a long period of time.
I would agree.
So the second sentence under why they picked that, they said, this is not recency bias, which means it is 100% recency bias.
Yeah, why else do you put that there?
Right. So either way, whether it's Justin Fields or it's Zach Wilson, it doesn't affect the Lions. They have the Miami Dolphins, who own Houston's pick at 3, getting Penei Sewell from Oregon.
The tackle.
Yep. They have Micah Parsons going to the Falcons at 4.
Yep.
Then they have Cincinnati picking Jamar Chase, wide receiver. Okay. Which I could see that, or just another offensive lineman. Eagles picking 6th, getting Patrick Surtain.
Okay, so that means the Lions can get Gregory Rousseau.
So what this has the Lions picking, because I feel like no people who write for the NFL, unless you write for the Lions, you have no idea what the Lions need. They have them picking between Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith.
I've seen so many Jalen Waddles at 7, and I'm like, no.
Yeah,
I would be more upset if they took Waddle over Devontae Smith if they actually took a wide receiver there.
There's no point to take a wide receiver there. Like, that's not what the team needs right now.
Well, so the reason behind it is that Marvin Jones not staying, and if they definitely do not re-sign Kenny Golladay because of his injuries, there's that chance. And then they don't have Danny Amendola, and Mohamed Sanu is gone.
Yeah, they need receivers, but it's like, look, man, like you can find. It's a relatively deep receiver draft. You can.
Yeah, I would I like Sage Surratt in the 4th round from Wake Forest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
so they have a
guy in the offseason too. Like that's what.
So still available according to this prospect rankings for the Lions at this point. If this is how it would go, if these teams would pick this way, Gregory Rousseau is number 6 overall prospect. He's an edge.
That's what I want.
Caleb Farley, cornerback. Kyle Pitts, tight end.
No.
Kwity Paye, edge rusher.
No.
Kwity Paye's gonna wreck some teams in the NFL.
I don't. He's another 2nd rounder out of Michigan with like.
And then the only other thing,
top 20 pick, easy.
Yeah, the next guys I could actually see the Lions going with on this would be Christian Darrisaw, offensive lineman, or Joseph Asai, edge. And then Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah from Notre Dame.
In that order, the only 2 that I would not be super pissed about if they draft would be obviously Rousseau for me. The edge rusher for me has to go there if everyone else is taken as is. The benefit for me though, I was talking about it earlier with another guy today, and I said the good news is that they will get their choice between Sewell or Rousseau or Parsons or Jamar Chase.
If they can somehow sneak to get Micah Parsons.
Yeah, if Parsons is available,
absolutely. And I would even, if I'm the Lions, like if you can even like trade up like 2 spots,
honestly,
Micah Parsons out, that's a win.
Honestly, I would not like.
There are only those, I think, 3 or 4 guys that I want there. And like I said, I don't think with Trevor Lawrence obviously having to go, and then they're putting Zach Wilson already or Justin Fields, I don't think there's any chance that at least one of those guys doesn't fall to the Lions. So
Yeah.
I think they're going to have their choice between 4 guys if they're picking at 7, and they might have their choice between 5 guys if they're picking at 6. So, like what we
Well,
have.
I think the interesting thing about this draft is we will know. Obviously, we'll know, who they choose as far as GM and head coach and everything like that. But we will also know the direction that the team, like what their thought process is. The Stafford decisions and stuff like that. Like we're gonna probably know that ahead of time anyway. But like we'll really know, if they decide to take a QB or if they decide to take offense. We'll have a pretty good idea right away from who they pick there because there's enough options like what their thought process is here.
I really wouldn't mind. I mean, it depends. The only team I could really see that the Lions, at least if they like at their previous ranking, so the Eagles, the Bengals, the Falcons, and the Dolphins are the only teams you could feasibly trade up with. I don't know. Maybe the Jets. Really, it was either Trevor Lawrence or they're going to trade back and try to get something.
Possible. I haven't thought about that. That's quite possible.
But I would not be. I think you have to trade above Atlanta.
To get Parsons.
I don't think Miami or the Jets go for Parsons, but I wouldn't be mad with trading up to a top 3 pick for Parsons. Like, I wish his coverage was better as a linebacker. Like, I still think the Lions are awful with coverage linebackers.
Yeah, but he's just a different kind of. He's not.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. He can learn.
Reads the tackles a lot better than any linebacker I've seen. Like his vision of the movement of the plays.
He also, he's not necessarily. He's a hybrid guy. I mean, you can put him down hand in the dirt too. I mean, he's more of a 3-4 guy really. And I think he could wreck some games in a 3-4.
Right.
So I don't know. I would like that pick. That would be a good pick.
Right. And I think you can trade up for it, honestly. And I think depending on which GM they go for, like you could have an aggressive GM who wants to make a statement.
Well, and I say this lightly though with Gregory Rousseau. Like I am very high on him, even though I say this lightly again because Chase Young is obviously elite, but I think Gregory Rousseau is like the Walmart version of Chase Young.
Okay.
I take a Walmart version.
Take a Walmart Chase Young at this point.
But like that my Walmart version of Calvin Johnson has been Kenny Galladay. So
yeah, okay. That's like Aldi brand.
Like Gordon Foods.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
but yeah, I mean, I would love Micah Parsons. I think that's great. If they don't get him, like if they don't trade up and he does get picked, I'm not too upset. But like you were saying, Joel, like there's with that 7 pick in this situation, like a lot of the teams above them are picking out of need. Like Miami needs an offensive lineman. Jets and Jacksonville need a quarterback. Like they're gonna have the pick of the litter, and there's a lot of ways they can go wrong.
The other thing is with the 7th pick or the 6th pick, because I think both of those are probably the 2 most likely. That's enticing enough to teams to maybe trade down and try to get something like either a handful of picks for future years or maybe a couple more picks for this draft or a certain guy if they really, really want a guy that's on the market. Like that's enticing enough to teams if a team, zeroes in on a guy that they really want at 6 or 7. So there's options there for sure. But they had options last year too, and I don't think they really explored them enough. So
yeah, but that I also think that's a product of the people that were in charge.
Sure.
I just hope that I just don't want there's a lot of wide receiver bait in front of their face in this.
Oh, no doubt. Yep.
And I really hope they don't.
I wouldn't. I know, Joel, you mentioned that you wouldn't be unhappy with Devontae Smith. I would be pissed if they drafted Devontae Smith because that is not. That's just. That's not a game breaking. That's not Calvin Johnson you're drafting. That's not. You know what I mean? Like Devontae Smith is going to be probably a pretty solid NFL wide receiver.
I guess you're right, because to me, Devontae Smith is probably going to put up numbers like Marvin Jones, and you don't want to draft Marvin Jones at
Exactly. Like, where do you project Devontae Smith at the end? Like,
But Jamar Chase,
Jamar Chase is. I would rather have Jamar Chase than.
Well, so would I, but I don't think Jamar Chase gets there. But
well, I don't either.
Yeah.
But it's like, where do you really project a guy like Devontae Smith in the end? Because, you know, 5 years from now, is he, a top 10 wide receiver in the league? Let's even say, no, he's not. Right? He's gonna be
Eventually.
a Marvin Jones, and to me, if you're gonna waste a top 10 pick, I mean, it's got to be a can't miss wide receiver, elite, guy, right? And
I think Jamar Chase at least has that potential.
Jamar Chase is more potential there than.
But I'd be upset if they got Jalen Waddle, because I truly believe Jalen Waddle is going to be a bust.
Yeah, well, and I look at Jamar Chase, and the team that Jamar Chase was on was that he sat out this year, so he was on that. Basically, he's a product of the last year's LSU team.
Right. I
think he was better than Justin Jefferson, like in some ways. I don't think he was like just every possible metric he was better than him, but I thought he was the best wide receiver on that team.
I agree.
So Justin Jefferson is having an insane rookie wide receiving year, and with a quarterback that in a team that's pretty similar in usage with a guy like that to the Lions, Kirk Cousins and Matthew Stafford. I think Matthew Stafford's just a better version of Kirk Cousins, but they're both pocket passers who can move a little bit but don't really move that much. And like, it would be awesome to have Jamar Chase, so I wouldn't be upset with that. I just don't think he makes the team better.
Right.
Like Justin Jefferson has been awesome for
him to make the team better. They're going to have to get a really good free agent pickup too, because especially if it's going to be the way I see this play out, where Marvin Jones and Kenny Golladay are both not part of the team next year.
But that's once again my problem though, because if you're drafting in the top 10, like you need to find a guy who's going to be pretty much an instant impact, some sort of game breaker pretty early in his career. Probably that first year, depending on his position, right? If it's like an offensive lineman, like I want him to be in the rotation, in the 2 deep at least, probably starting by the end of the year, right? And making an impact. If it's a quarterback, yeah, you probably give him a year and then he's got to push for time, right? And at a receiver, like you need to have a guy that's just like lights out. I mean, just a dominating force at receiver. And Devontae Smith, yeah, he's been incredible this year, but I think it's a product of Alabama's team, yeah, very good. But like you said, Joel, like I don't project him in his career eclipsing anything like Marvin Jones. Nothing against Marvin Jones, but like I'm not drafting Marvin Jones 6th overall. Like that doesn't add up to me. So
if I did a redraft though of 2014 when Marvin Jones was drafted though, I'd probably put Marvin Jones as a late first round pick if you put it with the rest of the 2014 draftees.
Sure, and you can always do that and stuff, but like I just don't. I'm not picking 6th overall to get Marvin Jones on my team.
Right. But okay. Well, I mean, I only say Devontae Smith there that I would be less mad because I don't think Jamar Chase is going to be there. And I think I'd be actually okay with Jamar Chase.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, okay, like is Devontae Smith safe? You know what I mean? Do you know exactly what you're going to get out of him? Does he have a chance to bust? Yeah, he might not have as big a chance to bust. So
he might. Yeah, he's a safer. I get that. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if I go safe at 6.
But I want defense first. Our defense needs way more help than our offense right now.
Yeah, I agree. So a
superstar linebacker like Parsons and maybe a Walmart edge rusher, Chase Young, Rousseau. Yeah, I'd be okay with that there. But
I just don't trust first round wide receivers. Like
I don't either.
Don't think
Lions have had a bad history other than obviously a once in a lifetime Calvin Johnson, but.
Right.
That, everyone was like, I worry about Calvin Johnson just because of the Roy Williams, Charles Rogers, Mike Williams luck that they had earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's we'll talk more about draft as time goes on here. Let's